What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 7, Alexis and Justin. Let's get into it. So when we first see Alexis and Justin, they're sitting on a couch and they're talking and they're holding hands. And I'm mentioning this because up until a certain point in the episode, every time Alexis and Justin are together, they're constantly touching each other. They're physically connected in some way. So they go to Alexis's apartment and I didn't have a problem with the paintings on her wall, even though there was one particular painting that was kind of questionable, but I can see that as being very artistic. I was just a little bit like shocked by, I'm not exactly sure what that was, because anyways, there was this, I don't know what it was. It was an object, and I think it had plants or something growing in it. And it was a replica, I think, of her anatomy or someone's anatomy, a very specific part of her anatomy. And she just had it laying around her apartment. I think it was in the living room. Like it was just a regular schmegler generalized piece of art. And that was bizarre to me. Okay. They go to Justin's apartment. His apartment is very small. It's a little efficiency. And, while he was very impressed with what she had in her apartment, for obvious reasons, she was not impressed by anything in his apartment. Nothing. It was really small. She was walking around kind of like with her nose in the air, criticizing everything. The best part of his apartment was his balcony because it was a pretty spacious balcony, but the only problem is he lives next to an airport. So the planes are constantly, going by or flying by, creating a lot of noise, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. I think that, he probably got it for a really good deal in, where are they? San Diego. I'm thinking he got it for a really good deal because it's by the airport. It's super, super tiny. But the balcony to me, I think kind of made up for it. I didn't have a problem with the balcony. I liked the balcony. I could see myself sitting out there, with the planes, without the planes. It would have been fine with me. So then they're back at their new apartment. So now they have to introduce their dogs together. Now, Alexis is very, like any pet owner, she's extremely attached to her dog. I think his name is Newton. And the dog is cute. It's a really cute dog. She's very attached to her dog. That's her baby. She gets offended when you call him a dog because to her, that's her child. And, Justin has his own dog who's a little bit bigger than her dog, and his dog, her name is Maya, and he's also attached to his dog. So they have to make sure that these animals can coexist in this new space. So the animals have to deal with being in a new environment, then they have to deal with being, with other pets in this new environment. So it was a very stressful situation for all. Unfortunately, his dog ended up biting her dog, and she bit her dog so bad that blood was drawn. And so she had to take him to the emergency animal hospital or animal clinic, I guess for him to get stitches. So it was a really tense situation. Now, when her dog got bitten, she picked up her dog to see how bad it was. She was very stressed out about it, obviously. And then when she went into the bedroom, they closed the door, but their mics were still on. And you could hear Justin trying to comfort her, and she just wasn't having it. She just wanted to get out of there, take her dog to the clinic. So her dog ends up being okay. He has to wear a cone. He had to wear a cone, but he ended up being okay. And Justin's dog had to be taken to a trainer. So they had to train his dog to learn how to get along with other dogs or whatever, or to tame her aggression. So Justin said that he was willing to do anything, to keep his wife happy. And if it meant getting rid of his dog, if his dog was not properly trained or could not be properly trained, he would get rid of his dog because for him, it was important to keep his wife happy. So then Pastor Cal comes to visit. They talk about the whole dog situation. Alexis turned it into a whole trust issue, which I felt like, okay, he had no control of his dog. But her point was this. She said that Justin had assured her that his dog was good around other animals. And so she felt like, she could trust her dog running around with his dog in the home and not worry about, anything bad happening. Well, something bad did happen. And so she sees it as, you failed me because you didn't tell me that your dog was not good around other animals. And she found out after the fact that his dog had been in fights with other animals. And so Justin said, I didn't tell you about it because my dog was not the aggressor. So I felt no need to tell you about it because my dog was actually the victim. And every pet owner says that, right? It's not my dog's fault. It's your dog's fault. Every pet owner says that. So who knows whether his dog was the aggressor or not? Who knows? But her whole thing was, you should have told me that your dog has issues with other dogs. And so then I would have been more careful with mine. I wouldn't have let mine run loose around the apartment with your dog running loose around the apartment. And the dog wasn't loose. Justin had a leash on her, but her dog got a little bit too close and his dog snapped. And so I guess in Justin's mind, even that could be seen as his dog not being the aggressor because her dog was actually in his dog's space. Anyways, I never thought I'd be talking so much about dogs when I'm talking about Married at First Sight. So she accuses him in front of Pastor Cal. She says, well, you tell me half truths. You're not honest with me. And she says, in a normal situation, I would have just ran. If I would have been, if this was a dating situation and you led me to believe that my dog was going to be safe when they weren't, or whatever the situation was, if I felt like you were only giving me a part of the story, not the whole story, she says, I would have just ran. I would have just broken up with you, would have been over. So Pastor Cal says, well, who do you think he is? Do you believe at his core that there's something wrong with him? And she says, I don't know. She says, I don't know. Now, that would have been fine if she would have said, I don't know. But at this point, she's already confessed her love to him. She's already talked about how easy their marriage is. And she doesn't understand why people say marriage is so hard. Marriage is so easy and it's so much fun. She just doesn't get why people complain about being married all the time. So if you love him and being married to him is so easy and a wonderful experience, then it's sort of problematic that now you're saying you don't know if there's something wrong with him, like within his core, the core of his being, you think that there might be something wrong with him. Now, if you never would have confessed your love to him after knowing him for about a half minute, and if you never would have talked about how easy it is to be married to him when you've only been with him on a paid for vacation in Mexico, then maybe I would have taken what she said a little bit more seriously. But I don't take it seriously because she's already said she's in love and being married to him is so wonderful. So now that she says there's something, she believes that there might be something wrong with him in his core, I don't take her seriously at all. So she said that she had put her trust in him, and he broke that trust. So I understand the whole thing of, I have pets. I get it. I understand how people can feel about their animals. And it's like, this is my child. And, when they hurt, I hurt and I'll kill for my dog. I get it. But I don't see this as a broken trust issue. He's protective of his dog. He doesn't want his dog to look like Cujo. So he's not going to talk about all the 13 fights Maya has been in. But I feel like, he should have been a little bit more proactive. Maybe he should have been like, okay, these dogs don't know each other. Let me keep mine with a family member for a while, or let me put mine in a crate, or something. But I don't know. I don't know how it could have been solved. I felt like, he didn't intentionally try to deceive her. He see his dog as being an innocent victim in these other previous interactions that Maya has had. So he felt no need to tell her because he doesn't see his dog as being aggressive. I don't think that he was waiting for a fight to happen between the two dogs. I don't know. I just felt like she was putting 20 on 10. That's all. I thought she was making a big deal about nothing when it came to talking about she can't trust him. Maybe she can't trust his damn dog, but I think you can trust him. Anyways, moving on. Now Justin gets emotional. And this is like, the 15th, 20th time that we've seen him cry. There has not been this is episode 7. We have not had a single episode without Justin breaking down and crying. So Justin starts getting emotional, and Pastor Cal was like, tell me what's happening, what's going on, what's wrong. And Justin says, I feel like a crappy owner. He says, I should have paid more attention to the signs of, aggression, because his dog was baring her teeth at her dog. And that would have been a time where maybe he could have told her, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. Like, I don't know if it's humane to put a dog in a crate overnight or, not like a nice big comfy crate. One of them should have had their dog in a crate, and then slowly get them acclimated to each other. Or as they're getting used to each other, make sure that you have a really strong hold on the bigger dog. I don't know what they could have done, but something could have been done to avoid this. So he says he feels like a crappy dog owner, and he should have paid more attention to what was going on, and that he says that he could have lost his marriage over this. And I was like, you could have lost your marriage over this? Really? You believe that? So marriage is not really about giving up. It's just about pushing through. So it's a bad thing that happened. I know he felt bad, but is it worth getting a divorce over? I don't think so. That didn't make any sense for him to say that. I don't think anybody should feel like their marriage could have ended because their dog bit their spouse's dog. You just try to push through. If anything, give your dog proper training like he's taking measures to do, or get rid of one of the dogs if they can't live in the same space. And so, Pastor Cal says, well, don't beat yourself up. No, Pastor Cal said, I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. And, we have to allow each other to be human and to make mistakes. There's a lot of challenges. So in this situation, it was, animals attacking each other. There are some situations where parents have done things by mistake and children have gotten hurt. People have gotten hurt. And it was just a mistake. It was an accident or whatever. So if you can't push through with something like this, then maybe marriage is not for you at all. Okay. Because things are going to happen, and worse things than this are going to happen. And it's just, look, all I'm saying is it's not easy. It's a horrible thing that happened. I understand that Alexis was hurt, but you just got to push through. So Alexis says, for us to fix this, I need him to overshare. I need him to tell me everything. Don't limit on the amount of information that you can possibly give me, because, she's tying this into, you should have told me that your dog has been in situations before with other animals. Then I would have made the decision on what to do with my dog. So then Justin says, well, I need you to give me another chance with Maya. And so she was like, what? The agreement was if Maya could not be properly trained, you would have to get rid of her. Now you're going back on your word. And so now I really don't have your trust, because you can't even keep your promise to me that if your dog cannot be trained, you would get rid of her. So then Justin says that giving his dog away would not be as easy as saying it. And he says that he's had his dog since birth, and now he's very attached to his dog. And so, now Alexis is like, okay, look, this is not what we talked about. This is not what we agreed on. You're flipping the script on me. And she's just not having it. Like, you're going back on your word now. So now it becomes this whole trust thing. Justin, if you promised her that you would get rid of your dog if your dog cannot be trained, I think you have to stick with your word. I mean, I don't think you can go back on your promise with your wife. And as hard as it is, I mean, what are you going to do? The dogs can't live. If Maya cannot be trained, the dogs cannot live together in the same space. So do you want to lose your dog, or do you want to lose your wife? I mean, you can first try a family or a friend who's willing to take Maya in. And then after that, if that doesn't work, then yes, you might have to give your dog away. This is marriage. But like, what happened, y'all? Justin, Alexis, what happened? Y'all said that marriage is so easy. It's so much fun. Y'all don't understand why other people struggle with marriage. What the hell happened? It ain't so fun when your husband's dog nearly bites the head off of your own dog. It's not so much fun over here now, is it? That is my review of Justin and Alexis. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. If you like this content, please subscribe. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video however you want to rate it. It's fine with me. I can take it. I'm a big girl. And join me next time. No, join me again for my next review of my last couple for this episode. Bye.